And so then we're going to be actively planning for our fall season. So ideas are welcome, especially this being our 150th anniversary year. So this forum today, I'm very excited about. Retired Major General Barbara Falconberry contacted me a few months ago, and her story of her connection to Eliana's wonderful foundation is itself a fun story, and I wish we had more time to get into that, but I'd like to welcome up Barbara first, and she will introduce our speaker today. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Well, what a great opportunity. I have to tell you, I'm a Southern Baptist who worships at Bennett Hill Monastery, but I love this congregation. I can tell that the monastery and the nuns there practice radical hospitality. And we saw that you guys believe in extraordinary welcoming. And I feel that spirit here. I know that Bennett Hill Monastery and you all have done some collaboration for social justice things. And social justice is what we're going to be talking about. Peru is a beautiful, beautiful country. It's got the Andes, and it's got the Amazon, and it's got beautiful coastal cities. But those cultures are very different. And the Amazon has been neglected in Peru, and as you know, the Amazon goes through Brazil, and sometimes Brazil likes to take it all, but it's really through Peru as well. And but when Eliana graduated from college, she came from Lima, and this is the higher class of people live in Lima. She could have done many things. But her heart, like I think many of you all here, was with the poor and with issues of social justice. And, but unlike so many nonprofits, if you will, people who want to give, a lot of times they want to give what they want to give. They go, okay, I'm going to go change you because I believe in this, and I'm going to tell you to change to be this. That was not Eliana. She went to listen in an extraordinary way in a place you can hardly communicate. It's so interesting there. Gorgeous, beautiful environment, animals that are exotic for us, beautiful wildflowers. But these people have been neglected for so long. And Eliana has reached out. So I'm so excited to introduce her. She has come up from Lima, Peru, to talk to us today. And so I want to welcome my friend, Eliana Elias.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you who are present today, and for those who are listening to us in their houses. It's an honor. I didn't expect it, although I read about this church, I was not expecting the extravagant welcoming. Is that the word? Extravagant welcome, the opportunity to grow in spirit, and a desire and a commitment to transform the world into a better place with more justice. That's what I read about you, and I said, of course, no? My name is Eliana Elias, Elias in Spanish. I was born and raised in Lima, Peru. I was very lucky. And I met Luis Gonzalez, who's the co-founder of Minga Peru, 30 years ago in the Amazon. And we started this organization 25 years ago. I've heard my friend here went to Peru once, right? Did you like it? To Iquitos, to the Amazon. No, I was expecting Machu Picchu, but this is much more, wow. Wow. So at the end, I will invite you to come, no? Pastor is already invited. So, you know that the word Minga is a Quechua word that comes from many years ago, like 3,000 years ago. You know, it's a tradition by which all the community gets together to build something for the good of the community, and nobody gets paid. It's a volunteer community work. And we wanted to fund an organization that will honor that spirit of community. No? We are stronger if we are united. And that's why we started Minga Peru. Our mission is to work for social justice and human dignity, especially for women and their families in rural communities of the Amazon. When we wanted to work there, we realized very, very quickly that it was very hard for us to reach those who were inside the forest. No? And those were the ones that we wanted to reach. So there were no roads at that time. It was only through the river. So it was very evident at the beginning that the only way to reach those families and those women were through the use of boats, was the transportation, but also radio. You can find a radio in any community, at least 1, 2, 3 sometimes, and they were listening to the radio. So we started with a radio program called Bienvenida Salud. Anyone that speaks Spanish here? Bienvenida means? Welcome, welcome health. That's the name of our radio program. But we didn't want to, as Barbara, my friend here, said before, we didn't want to impose an agenda of development. We didn't want to go and say, well, we're from Lima, so we know better how you should be living. No? We wanted to open the discourse, the discussion. No? What's going on in your life? What's going on in your community? What are your dreams, your hopes? What do you care about? What would you like to see in the future happening? And this is how we invited the women to send us letters. These are women that sometimes barely can write their name. Many of them don't know how to write. You cannot find a piece of paper, a notebook sometimes in those communities 25 years ago. But they make the effort and they send us letters. We invite them to send us letters. Send us letters, tell us. If you don't know how to write, make a drawing. If you cannot do it, ask someone to write a letter for us. We didn't know what to expect. Up to now, we have received 45,000 letters coming by boats. You should see people waiting in their small canoes for the big boats to come and give their letters. There are videos about that in our website. You can see them. These people are the dandelions. Is that the name? They are the dandelions in the Amazon. So resilient. And we start receiving the letters. At the beginning, they were telling us what they supposed we were expecting to listen. We are washing our hands with soap. We are using the latrine, But we said, no, we want you to tell us what's going on. What do you want to see happening? Your dreams. And they came out with many things. But unfortunately, when we were analyzing all these letters, because we have agreements with all these big boats, so we go to the port in Iquitos, the capital, and we pay to receive the letters, no? And we transcribe them as part of a system, and we analyze name, gender, community, relationship with the radio program, a topic they are talking about, and we use them to develop the scripts. So they are basically writing the scripts and the contents of the radio program. That's why Bienvenida Salud has been on the air for so long, 25 years, 3 times a week in Spanish and also ethnic languages, no? Because it's a collective construction of a message. That's why it's so powerful, so transformative, because it's the people. Of course, we invite specialists like physicians, engineers, psychologists to participate in the radio programs as well. But it's basically the people from the Amazon listening to themselves. No? But when we analyzed the letters, there was one word that came very often. What do you think was the word? Spirit. Close. Hope. Yes, also sometimes. But the word that came very often was ashamed. I am ashamed of how I look, of what I know, of not being able to study, of being an indigenous. I'm ashamed. And that for us is the result of so many years of colonization and being discriminated and all that history behind that make you see yourself in that way. So we were committed to become mirrors, different mirrors, where people can see themselves and recognize how wonderful, how strong, how resilient, how full of knowledge, of wisdom they are. how privileged to live in such a beautiful place, important and relevant for the planet, the Amazon. Huh? And we were committed to that. And we deliberately, no, include as part of our script this topic. No, sometimes we feel ashamed of this, we feel ashamed of that. We speak about that. But you listeners are the experts. Nobody knows better than you what do you need, what are your needs, but also we always focus not only in the needs and likenesses, we focus on the richnesses, all what these people have to bring to the table, you know, to make this change possible. Also, we realized that there were some listeners who were sending up to 6 letters a month, which is a lot of effort for someone to do that. They were really committed to change, to have a different life, a better life for their children. So we invite them to come and be part of our training program. So this is how we started, and maybe we click. Thank you, Barbara. So we started with a radio program, and then we include the leadership program. We invite, this is a beautiful Amazon. Next one, please. This is where the Amazon is located. Loreto is located, you see, where the red spot is. Next, please. And this is the radio production. I haven't ever talked in a radio program. We work on the strategy with them, but they are the experts now. And what you're seeing there is a loudspeaker. The community puts 50% of everything, effort, working effort, and we also help them with some of the material stuff, no? In order to have, because they want all the community to listen to the radio program, not only the ones who have a radio in their homes. Next, please. So community promotoras, these were the initial listeners who were invited to come for a week to our training center to learn more about rights, violence prevention, women's rights, gender equity, health, education, all those things they wanted to learn about. And they become leaders. For the very first time, women were not only accepted in an assembly, they were raising their hands, they were speaking up, they have been elected democratically leaders in their communities, official leaders. So now there are many women who are leading their communities and presenting and developing projects for them. 25 years ago, this never happened. It was the first time that an organization was getting into a community, like 2 days inside the river, no? Inside the rainforest, looking for someone who sent us a letter. And they were shocked. And they were invited to leave their houses and homes and communities for the very first time and spend a week with us, with professionals working with them. They designed the methodology, they designed the syllabus. And now they are not only political authorities in their communities, they also, each one have a network of women they train. So it's about, I am here standing on the behalf of 500 amazing, brave women who have paid very high price for the change they have done in their culture. Yes, clap them. Yes, they deserve it. No? We start listening, so we start this leadership program with women, but after 2 years of this program, we were evaluating where are we now, where are we going with this program and this process. And one of them stood up in front of me and told me, you know what, Eliana, now I know violence is wrong, and I am strong enough to not let my husband beat me anymore. But what do I do with my niece, who's 3 months pregnant, expecting a baby, and she's beaten badly every night by her husband? What can I do? And as we Minga believed, they know, they have the answers. So I answered, but what would you do? And she said, I already talked to the authority here, but he's a good friend with the guy, they share some beers, and nothing happens. So I answered, but what would you think we should be doing? And she said, we need to make money. I need to pay for the gasoline so I can take my niece with me back to a police station and put a formal complaint against this guy. So this will stop. And I said, but in Minga, we didn't give money to anyone. We provide opportunities for learning. And she said, okay, let's then do those projects that some men are being taught, like agroforestry farms, chicken poultry models, handcrafts, and fish farms. And this is how we hired the best experts on that, and they become experts on doing these kind of projects. And this is our third component, and maybe we click. And sending letters, you see? No? They become experts, and they did their own fish farms and agroforestry farms and sustainable initiatives, and they had the money they need in order to execute their basic human rights, to health, to education, to a peaceful life, and be respected. 25 years passed after that, and it's a completely different place you can visit. It's located in a very important place for the world. It's the buffer zone of the Pacaya-Samiria National Reserve, which is an important place for the world in terms of biodiversity. What happened, we were very lucky to have agreements with universities in the United States, so professors sent their students to do their research, thesis, about our work, because we didn't have the funds to, finance all these researches. And they came with very strong findings. Now, it turns out that in those communities where Minga has applied the three-component model, there is a decrease in family and gender-based violence. There is a decrease also in early pregnancy. There is an increase of girls attending to school. There's an increase of safe practices preventing HIV/AIDS. There is an increase, of course, in women in political positions, as well. And there is less pressure on the rainforest, thanks to these initiatives. But after 25 years, we had this conversation with women, and where are we now again? And they said, well, 25 years ago, we wanted to survive, but now our children want to thrive. They have big dreams. I talk to them every time I go, and they said, well, how was it, I asked them, how is it to come with your mom since you were a baby to the training center, the first training center for women like this kind? And he said, he's now 17, he said, well, my mom was different from other women. She was happier. She knew that she will come next month to this training center and meet her friends. And she was just happier. She has a happier life. My family was more peaceful, So these kids now, 17, 16, 18, they are dreaming about becoming ecologists, tourist guides, nurses, physicians, teachers. And this is how we are launching these visits I'm doing through the United States, meeting people, meeting communities that have the same values as we have, trying to expand the base of Minga friends and see if you want to join us in any way you can. There are many ways you can be part of Minga, and I will explain you a little bit after that. These young people are doing their own projects. They are learning, and they are having their own fish farms, their own agroforestry farms. They are selling what they are producing in the market. They are making money. They are saving for attending to high school or to even universities. Good for them. And yes, this is what we are doing now. We are exchanging what we have learned with other grassroots, 150 grassroots throughout Latin America in more than 14 countries. We have learned how to use, especially communication for social change, and to still be amazed by these dandelions that we have in the Amazon, absolutely resisting, transforming, finding ways to survive, and not only survive, but blossom as they are. So this is what we are doing in Minga. Yes? This is always the first question. At the beginning, it was not easy. We realized that it's impossible for us to work in gender equity if you don't involve men. So we hire experts to go to the Amazon and do some research about masculinity. What is it to be a man in the Amazon? What are the values behind that? And based on that, we designed a communication strategy for years on the radio, celebrating those men who were supporting their women, congratulating, sending gifts to those authorities who were changing things in their communities, supporting women's empowerment, and becoming prestigious other ways of masculinity. And once I had an interview with media, and they were asking me, so among so many letters you have received along the years, pick one and tell me about what is it about, no? And I picked one that I loved a lot, which is, it said, Señores from Bienvenida Salud radio program. My mom listens to your radio program every week. So I want to tell you that when my mom was expecting me, she got bitten by a snake. So the doctor said to my mom I was going to born slow. Can you please teach me how to become that kind of man you speak in your radio program, so one day my mom will be proud of me? When you reach something like that from a 10-year-old boy who make the effort to write a letter, wait in the port, take the letter, give the letter to the big boat, and wait for the response, how can I become that kind of man? You know you're having an impact in the social discourse, no? In the collective discourse and mind. So it has not been easy, but we tried really to understand what was going on with men. They didn't know what to do at the beginning with this process. Some of them broke radios, no? But we had long conversations, men working with them one-on-one and promoting this on the radio all the time. That's why people think that the model of Minga Peru is successful, because it works with a radio program, in-person, long-time process of empowering and income generating. And we include men, but we also include the youth now who are leading, who are the fruit of this process. I just invited Eli. You're Eli, yes. I just invited Eli to see if he wants to come and volunteer. I'm stealing your Eli. No. We are sharing. Yes. Dandelions. Yes. This is what we are doing in the Amazon. We are extremely proud. We are working on our sustainability plan as well. And that means that we are organizing and receiving students, delegations, and students who come for 6 days to the Amazon. And they have the chance to see not only the beautiful Amazon region, but also to meet and have talks with the protagonists of this change, which are the women and the youth, indigenous women, professors, bilingual professors, experts, cultural experts, people who are working on the field, and the people in the Amazon, the leaders. So it's a 6-day trip. I hope that maybe there's a group of people here who would like to come, and by doing that, you will be also supporting the programs. When you come, for each one of you that come, we can produce 2 radio programs that will be listened for 350,000 people when it's the most, and the least is 150,000. It depends on the fans we have, no? But we are reaching the most isolated communities where sometimes the only source of information is Bienvenida Salud. They said, I cannot prove it, but they said that the first time they listened about COVID was through our radio program. No? What was it? What was going on in different languages with experts explaining in a very simple way. So this is how much they care about Bienvenida Salud, because they are doing it themselves. We are just facilitating the process. So hopefully there will be a delegation of people who would like to come and spend 7 days with us. Barbara has been there, no? But I hope she. Yes, you will be well taken care of by a general, no? And we will host you and gratefully thank you for just coming, no? We are not close to the United States, so it's not easy to bring and receive so many guests, no? But it's totally worth it. Trust me, one plane from here, Houston, Lima. Any other question or comment you would like to do? Yes. Charles, Carlitos.
Hello. Yes. Can you tell me how many people are close to receiving the messages that you send on the radio at the loudspeaker? Are you talking about 100,000 acres? Are you talking about half of the country? What is the difference in elevation from where the populous location is in Lima
Yes.
to the highest habitation of the people who live in the upper Amazon?
Okay, so there's 1 million people living in the Peruvian, in that region, which is called Loreto. Loreto is east, how you said? East, this is east, right? Northeast of Peru. It's about the third part of all the Peruvian territory. Yes, and it is about 1 million people living inside, 14 different ethnic languages. It's extremely culturally diverse. And for getting there, it's an hour and a half direct flight from Lima to Iquitos. It's not high, it's at the level of the sea. So if you come, you will not have any problems. Other question? Gracias, Carlos. Charlie, yes.
Yes, my question is what progress has been made in mitigating the release of hundreds of oil spills and toxic mercury in the Peruvian rainforest, and how can we help battle that?
Mm-hmm. There's a big concern about those things. There are groups working on that. No? We are basically working with women in order to be strong to participate. That's exactly what we as Minga we are doing. But there is a big concern about contamination. There is a big concern about how can they be more protected, no? In many, many ways. Yes.
How are you dealing with the shame that they have, and I assume it's based on colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you kind of mitigating the effects of colonialism, which impacted domestic violence and some of the other things that were going on before colonialism occurred to these communities?
We all the time want to reflect them based on who they truly are, no? It's maybe you are not, let's say they said, oh, because I didn't go to school, I didn't finish high school, of course, I didn't went to university. Yes, you might not be able to do that, but you know the forest a lot. You understand your environment. You know how to take care of that. You know about medicine plants. You know how to make it sustainable. So we are all the time emphasizing on what they do and what they know, what's their heritage, su herencia, their heritage, their cultural background, how much they have done. And for the women we work with directly, it's all the time making them see how long they have get and what a price, how brave they were. I want to tell you one story of one of them that I always remember, just to give you an idea of how brave they are. Once the workshop finished, they were still in the training center, and I saw that all the elder ones, no, and the younger ones start sharing at night, no, after the classes. And they were talking to one of them who was a young one who was crying, no? And I asked, what's going on, no? Why is she crying? And they said, his partner took away her child because she was coming to this workshop. And men were making fool of him, calling him names, no? Because you are letting your wife leave you alone. No? So this woman was very concerned and sad because she was not with her baby anymore. But the elder one said, wait, resist. They will give you your baby back. No? He's a man. He will get tired of taking care of the baby. No? And she was crying, but I said, if you want to leave, if you don't want to continue with this process, it's okay. But she said, no, this is my only chance. This is my only chance. So in the next workshop, she was there again, but she was with a broken arm. And I asked, what happened now, no? Because I was concerned, no? And she said, well, what happened is that it was a big party in my community, and it was a big party in my community. They were drinking, and there was music, so I sneaked, I get in the community, so I could take my baby with me back, no? But as it was so rainy, I fell down, and I broke my arm, protecting my baby. And I said, again, if you want to stop with this, it's okay, it's absolutely okay, you can do it. And she said, no. And the elder ones again, he's gonna find another woman. The other woman will not want to raise your child. He will give you your baby back. Just resist. Dandelion, find the way. No? And then the third one, she came with a baby. And she's an amazing community promoter. But this is how resilient they are. So we go back and said, remember, when, for instance, they have to do a presentation with an authority, and authorities are not used to receive, women like leaders, no? So they get a little bit afraid, no, of standing up in front. And we said, remember where you come from. Remember your process. Be proud of it. You can do it. It was harder, no, before. And so our work methodology, or what we do, is to reflect how amazing they are, how much they know, how proud they should be about themselves. No? And for us, this is kind of an antidote for all these things that they have been taught. No? Yes.
How did you get access in the beginning to radio? Was it a state-owned radio station or private? And do political changes affect your ability to broadcast?
Yes. No, we record in a studio we rented. Now we have our radio record studio. We didn't have at the beginning. So we pay and we rent the studio to record the scripts that we deliver together. And we record there, and then we pay for different radio stations. The ones who were in the most needed places, with bigger, how you said, they reach farther. And so we paid for the time on the air. No, we paid for that based on the contributions of people, I have to say, mostly Americans. That's why I'm so grateful to you guys, no? Because you have trusted on us and you have helped us with this. Other question? Yes.
How do you get the education to the remote places? Do you do it through the radio, or how are they educated, or are they educated?
Yes. There is, of course, insufficient schools. And I mean, the school itself lacks of many things, no? Of many things. It's just one building sometimes where students from different ages share the space, no? Our way to respond to that need is by working with the mothers so they can be empowered, they can make their own money, and they can decide in the family to send also girls and boys to school. No? The radio program is a reinforcement of what they are learning at the school. Also by providing kids from 15, 14 with income generating initiatives like these things they go and sell in the market. It's a way they can pay for their notebooks, books, pencils, stuff they need. No? When pandemic came, the school, it took longer. I mean, the shutdown, is it called the shutdown? The shutdown took longer in the Amazon. So there were communities with lots of depression, no, couldn't leave the community. There were no tourists buying any handcraft, but they had a cell phone. Sometimes one of them had a cell phone. So we did an agreement with a local Ministry of Education, and we came out with a project that made bilingual professors and radio scripters sit together in a table and write the classes kids were supposed to have, like radio programs. And we send them through WhatsApp to the community promoter, a woman, who puts it on the air through loudspeakers. And those radio programs came with formats kids were supposed to fill, no? And they would send it to the professor, and they will grade it and formally recognize, so they didn't lose the year of school. Actually, when we validate that project, we were surprised to find out that some grandparents loved that kind of education. They said, oh, Eliana, it's so much better, because before that, our children were taken away from us and went into that place for hours, no? And most of what we know wasn't important. Now the classes are in Spanish and Cucama, which is the indigenous language. The examples you are given are referred to our life. It's not A from A like in airplane. You know, examples were given about the fish and the river and the history and culture and all that. No? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank-
Bueno, bienvenidas.
Ay, en
Gracias por
español.
estar aquí. Estoy tan emocionada de escuchar de su trabajo.
Sí.
It's beautiful what you're doing. It's so important. So I'm a Latin American historian, and I teach at UCCS. And I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I didn't
No,
realize
thank
that.
you for that emotion.
Yeah, but I have so many questions.
Yes.
So, profesora de la historia de, oh no, you understand English.
Yes.
So, I'm wondering about the role of the church. Since we're sitting here in our church, locally, are there religious people that are helping? Are they being obstacles to change? Because, I mean, there could be the Catholic Church there. There could be, you know, Protestant churches, evangelical churches. I don't know if there's a support for indigenous practices. But that's tied to the history of colonialism and shame.
But they are not ashamed anymore. They are super proud. What's your name?
Christina.
Gracias, Cristina.
Yeah,
And
look,
gracias
it's
for
so-
your emotions.
It's so
No, I think
beautiful. It's so important. I can't even tell you how much we need this work in so many regions of Latin America. I think it's easy to sit from our positions and think, oh, that's so sad that there's so much domestic violence and that there's so much poverty. But, you know, you don't understand the context of what these people are going through and where they've come from and how they've had to struggle. You just can't understand that. And the way that you're doing it is coming from such kindness and caring, and it hasn't been the tradition. It hasn't. So this is amazing. This is amazing, this work that they're doing. So
Thank you, Cristina, and thank you for your emotion. Was the same emotion when we decided we need more support. We need this to grow. And you know what? I'm going to reach communities. I'm going to stand up in every church where people is trying to work for justice and kindness. I'm going to speak up. I don't know what to expect, no, but I was not expecting this ceremony, this like today, with so much kindness, community feeling. You can see the love behind each detail, the flowers, the PowerPoint, the joy in the pastor when she was speaking, no? The music, the reverence, the hug, the big hug at the beginning, the young people, the children on the back, they come in at the center. You are important. So when you say in your website, everyone is welcome. They were at the center. They will never, it was so, so nice. You were giving voice, to those who are sometimes taken for less or something, no? So responding to your question, y me encanta tu español, I like your Spanish, the churches have been supportive. I couldn't say that we had any problem with them, no? They have been supportive, they know, no, it has been a good work together. No, any problem, and we speak about, many things. Yes.
My heart is exploding.
Thank you for the explosion.
I honor you. I've studied Bienvenido Salud and Simplemente Maria from Lima, and the work of Miguel Sabido in Mexico and Soul City in South Africa. And you were in my doctoral dissertation. Your work is so model, and I've spoken of it as I've taught on pro-social communication campaigns around the world. And I feel like I'm in the presence of a rock star. And one cannot communicate how empowering this has been to so many people. And I thank you and I honor you.
Can I give you a hug? Thank you for taking our words. We never dreamed that what we were doing so isolated in the Amazon will be taken so far away because of people like you. So thank you so much.
You. People like you.
Thank you.
Following that is, how can we help, and how do you get the money, and where does it come from?
So we get the money from foundations, most of them from the United States, and also from individual donors.
From what?
Individual donors,
Donors, yes.
people who want to help with whatever they can. Everything is welcome. Everything is needed.
Do you have a
No.
website? Or
I have a website, and General here, Barbara, my friend, is going to coordinate all of it. But you can go to our website, and at the end of this, you will see. Yes, please, and continue. They want to see the pictures, yes. Those are the youth. They are called semillas, seeds, seeds of wildlife. What is it? Wildlife flowers? Wildflowers. Yes, this is a delegation of SMU, Southern Methodist University students, coming to the Amazon and learning about social change from the ones who are making it, from the experts. And that relationship is that shift in power, where the indigenous are the experts and the people coming from the global north are the ones learning. That is transformative for both sides.
Can I say that to go to the Amazon is very expensive. The cruise I was on was horrifically expensive. And it's outside what most people can do. The Minga tours is interesting because, and it's not only for students, it's for anyone, and we'll talk about the difficulties, can you handle it to go down there? Because this is not the Marriott when you go. But it's very reasonable in a college person's budget that you can go see the Amazon, see what everyone talks about by the wildlife and the biodiversity and the value of this place for the globe, and meet the people. Because many of those tours, those expensive boats, you don't get to meet the people. And the people are what make the Amazon so rich. So tell us a little more about these, and what are the conditions that people have, and about how much money is it?
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to thank the Lindblad National Geographic Fund, which is, they have beautiful trips to the Amazon, and also they stop in the communities where we work, and they invite their guests to come and see what's going on, and after that, they invite their guests to contribute to these programs. They have been with us for 10 years, and we have been able to do many things thanks to our partnership with the Lindblad National Geographic Fund. When Barbara speaks about the Minga Tour, it's not only for students. You are seeing students there, but we are expecting a church from the States, congregation coming next year, next July, I think. So there's something going on in churches. People looking for, and we want to create bridges. Not only just you come and you support, it's like around 2,000, 7 days in the Amazon, no? And you will be provided with transportation, not only from the airport, but also the flight, direct flight to Iquitos, 4 nights in Nauta, in a hotel, very simple, but you will have potable water, you will have air conditioners, some of them, you will have also, fans, so it's not that hot. I mean, in terms that you can go to one community, talk to the people, and come back at 6, no, for 4 days, and 1 night in Lima, and at the beginning, and 1 last night in Iquitos, which is the capital of the Amazon, and then coming back to Lima. All the meals are included, all the transportation, food, activities, cooking there, learning how to paint fibers with local roots and doing stuff. Also visiting the place where the Amazon River is born, starts. There is a place, we go there, we put our tribute, everyone puts its own, and it's a magical place. No? If we are lucky, we see some animals like slug. Last week, they saw a slug, and they rescue a little caiman, how you said, like an alligator? Sometimes, yes, small one. So it is nice, and by coming, you will be contributing already to the programs. But there's also people, individuals. It happened to me that someone came and gave a big gift to this we were not expecting, and with that money, we have built fish farms and workshops for 14 women from different 14 communities, no, during a week. And so this is how you can do it. We have a 501c3 also for tax deductible. It is called CAF America, I think, and it's all in our website. If you want something more, we can guide you on the steps, are not complicated, to donate through CAF, so you can get your tax deductible certificate. Or do it through Barbara.
And the cruise that I went on, Lyda Hill, who's a benefactor in our community, many people would know Lyda, was on that cruise. And she has been a large benefactor of what Eliana is doing. And Eliana's gone to Dallas to chat with Lyda a number of times. But I can't tell you how well she's connected. And the beautiful woman who talked about how Eliana, all two of her, she is an icon in this movement of social change. Many people study what they have done. And she's such a humble woman who has made radical changes, not only in the Amazon, but through her talking with other nonprofits about how to work better. That's been so powerful. But she has she's a National Geographic Explorer. It's a certain term that you have to earn. It's a big deal. So I just can't say enough about that.
But I'm not a general.
You're not a general.
I just had a quick question. So what's the general message that you're giving to the women? Is it about reproductive health or abstention or this or that, or is it just about empowerment? Like, what is it? What is the theme that's going through this? Is it?
Each radio program has its own educational goal, so we can measure at the end of the radio program if we reach that educational goal or not. And we have some ejes, well, group of themes that we speak about. So they are about rights, stopping gender violence, or violence based on gender. It's about health, which includes reproductive health, whenever they want to know about what are those methods, no? I'm taking this, I'm taking the other. What does it really mean, no? So it's information about this is exactly how it works. Don't take it that way. Don't make it if that's not safety for you, safe for you. So it's basic information about whatever they want to know about. It could be HIV/AIDS prevention, no, and yes. So things, healthy practices around that. It's also about income generating and natural resource management initiatives, how to take care of the rainforest, among others, no? Culture, super important, to be proud of your culture is super, super important for us, for them, no? About climate change now, they are very concerned. I was talking to one of the professionals that work with Minga in the communities, and they were telling me, Eliana, I was checking on the progress of that farm, and I said, but this is running late. I mean, you should be progressing more. And the owner of that chakra, field, explained to her that he failed and was taken to the hospital because it's so hot now. The weather is changing. They are changing the way they live. They are going to the forest, or they are going to their chakras, their fields earlier, 2 hours earlier sometimes, because it gets super hot. They say, they report that the river is changing its course, and they are very aware. They don't find the same animals they used to, or their grandparents used to. So climate change is an important thing, and sometimes we speak about that, but not from the voice of those who are very affected by that. No, if it gets hotter here, we turn on higher our, I don't know how you said it, air conditioner. But there is nothing like that. I always surprised, like here, you have, how is it going to be the weather today? And you know exactly how is it going to be today. It amazed me, because in the Amazon, we never know when it's going to rain, no? But that could be seen as a problem is also a source of resilience, because people is extremely adaptive. They adapt fast, no? And that's something good for transformation, for change. They are used to be uncomfortable sometimes, no? Very often.
Eliana, thank you so much. Really grateful. I'm so aligned with everything that you're bringing. And I wanted to say to all of you who are imagining maybe going, that I had the great privilege, not with Minga, but with another beautiful organization, Pachamama Alliance. I was in the Amazon headquarters, or the headwaters of the Amazon, flying into, staying in the indigenous community, Shuar, that was the community, learning from the people, much like you, in this asset-based. They're not poor, they're wealthy. We are poor in some ways, we're wealthy in other ways. The sharing of the information and the resources is just so cool. So I want to say, this is my big plug to everybody who's thinking of, do I want to do this? I say yes, go on a Minga tour. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for us, it's important to prove that it's possible to make this initiative sustainable, that will not depend on someone coming and raising funds, that they have the resources and the knowledge to make it sustainable, even with me or without the directors, etc. No? And we think that many grassroots have this potential. And if we succeed, we will take this model to other grassroots in the region, in our Latin America, right? And tell them you have a source which is valuable, that people in the States, people in the global north are looking for this, where you can learn from those who are making the change, get inspired, and have an exchange. No? So thank you for that.
Can we just give another round of applause to Eliana and the General for bringing Minga Peru to us here in Colorado Springs. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope to see you. For the General who brought me all the way, telling me the heart of the Amazon, you should come, Eliana. You should meet Colorado Springs. And I said, okay. She spoke about you guys, telling there is communities who want to make a change. Thank you so much.